Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well. So today I want to share something that I've been working on for a little bit. I still think that YieldMax has a lot of unlocked value that we can take advantage of potentially by looking at the earnings dates and the implied volatility. So I was prompted to this by a kind viewer who's saying that, oh, could you provide such an analysis before the declaration date? So I think this might be a good recurring monthly video. So I think there might, I don't know exactly how, but I still think maybe we can somehow brainstorm like some ideas where we can maybe squeeze a little extra bit of money from the YieldMax products. So keep in mind, this is based off of Thinkorswim data, so these things are subject to change. And I'm hoping that in the 2024, we might start off with a strong first quarter, but there's no guarantees. So right now, let me see if I can switch to the spreadsheet. I'll give you guys like a few seconds to kind of like jot down any information that you want from this particular spreadsheet. So just to give you an idea of what to expect in the future, I've also included some of the unreleased YieldMax products. Like for example, there's an Adobe one and a Boeing one, etc. So I highlighted those in yellow, just so you can kind of get an idea what this could look like in the future. And then also there's the pink ones are also either unreleased or ETF products, like for example the RKK, GDX. These aren't released anyway, and they won't have earnings dates obviously because they're not like individual stocks. But so altogether we have about 31 potential products in play. So this could get kind of cumbersome. So I think maybe for this video, I'll start off with like the top five in terms of like the implied volatility ranking, just to see if maybe my suspicion could be potentially correct. So let me switch back to the PowerPoint. So the first one obviously is Tesla. Uh, I'm starting off with like I guess like, in terms of like the earnings date order. So these are like the top five at the time of this recording, the implied volatility. So as you can see from last quarter, they had the um, the implied volatility above the historical volatility, and they kind of beat earnings, but I mean it was kind of like uh, it, I mean like the last quarter was kind of a disaster, and that's why like Tesla unfortunately the price isn't so hot right now. But I think if we could have give them enough time, there could be potentially something here. At least just to grab like the dividend for like the month and then move on to like let's say like for example a Coney. The next one will be like uh, this one we have plenty of time because their earnings releases in February 20th. Um, the earnings are in the right direction, and they've beat like Wall Street expectations. Same thing with the implied volatility is above historical volatility, at least for the last quarter. So obviously, guys, we have to kind of do our own homework here and confirm, um, uh, with the most current data. And this was a surprise. I wasn't expecting Moderna to have like such high implied volatility, because as you can see from the last quarter, the historical volatility was above implied volatility, and the earnings was not so great, I guess. It's actually underperformed Wall Street expectations, but there might be something here. Again, the date of the earnings is February 22nd, so there's still some time. Also for Square, they just happen to have the same earnings date. Um, but this is much better in terms of like the actual earnings relative like the Wall Street expectations. But it was kind of weird that last quarter their implied volatility was below historical volatility. So maybe there's something here as well where they're starting to pump in implied volatility to kind of uh, I don't know, not sure what. what's going on here. I don't know if it's maybe like some sympathetic play with Coney where maybe it has to do something with the Bitcoin spot ETFs, but that's just my guess. Uh, I don't believe Square has that much Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but I mean there might be some other factors at play as well. But I guess in terms of like options trading or like switching between YieldMax products, I guess we don't have to care as much about that. Like what's more important is like the level of implied volatility. Same thing with AI. I'm not sure what's causing this. Um, but I guess like maybe like the earnings like from last quarter, like since they were so far above like the Wall Street expectations, maybe that's part of it. Because like the implied volatility and the historical volatility looks kind of saggy from last quarter. But again, maybe something has changed. So definitely don't just like rely on this. You have to kind of like still do your own research and kind of like figure out maybe what the reason is. Um, so this just like maybe just like as an example, please don't just like random randomly buy like these ticker symbols. This is just an example of how this could potentially work. Uh, like for example, maybe you could start off with test lead for the month of January, and then like kind of rotate out into like the February earnings. Um, depending on what your goals are and like what you need in your portfolio. So like for example, if you have too much like tech exposure already, then maybe like Moderna might be like a better fit for you. Um, and then of course, uh, you have to like make your own decisions. And then after that, like you can kind of rotate into like maybe AI. Because I think um, maybe I was lucky in that the level of implied volatility just happened to work out for like the top five names where we can kind of space them out this way. So like for example, like AI was like in March, Tesla was in January, and like these three were like in February. So I think it kind of just worked out this way for at least like for this video, but in like a future video it could like completely change. As always, I always want to warn people like you have to kind of do your own work. Don't just like randomly rely on silly pandas on YouTube. Because this is still like definitely a work in progress. And I hope to improve this in the future. And then just some random good news. Coney, the Moderna one, and Square, like the YieldMax funds themselves, they actually started to have option chains. I don't know when. I'm sorry I didn't even notice this until like this video. There was like so much going on that I didn't even notice this. So this is good news. But as you can see, like the even though this aftermarket hours, the bid and ask could be kind of wide. So just be careful if you decide to kind of pursue the strategy. Um, and then also, I kind of just jotted down like a list of YieldMax ETFs that have option chains. So I think this is good news. Uh, I also put in like the Defines ETFs because chances are if you like YieldMax, then you'll probably like Defines ETFs as well. So the triple QY has been here for a while. PayPal, Disney, the Nvidia one has been around for a while. Apple and Shomo, uh, I didn't notice these at all, but it's good to see them like out here. Jeppy has been around for a while. I don't remember if OARC had options. Um, if this is recent or if this has been around for a while. The Meta one, Square, AMD, like Tesla has been around for a while. I was really glad to see like Coney's finally had like option chains too. So like the Moderna one and Netflix as well. So I think overall this is good news. Um, so of course like I just want to go over the usual risks. Like I think the expense ratios could be improved upon. And then we also like in addition to like looking at the implied volatility, we actually have to look at what YieldMax is actually like the actual strike selection. Um, and then also like the implied volatility could collapse, but because like, we're looking at the implied volatility for the individual underlying stocks, um, this might be a way to help counter like the overall the downward trajectory of like the market implied volatility. So this might be a way to kind of offset some of that. And of course, like the stock prices, can definitely get cheaper. The yields won't be consistent month to month, but like I'm hoping that like we can kind of maybe like figure something out where we can kind of balance out like the inconsistencies of like the individual yields. Like so maybe if we kind of like yield max, do some yield shopping, we might be able to get like a consistently high, or at least like consistently acceptable yield from month to month. But of course, like don't get your hopes up. Like there's still a work in progress. So hopefully we can kind of figure something out. Uh, so of course, if you can give this video a like to help kind of spread the word, share it with people that you care about. And of course, I always appreciate all my subscribers. In fact, so much that I'm losing my voice because I love you guys so much. And I hope everyone makes some good money out there, especially in the new year. So thank you very much and have a great one.